Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to sum up a bunch of news items that have come out over the last few days, starting off with the return of a vehicle. It's Weizmann's Spitfire. It's returned on the anniversary of the last Empire Air Day, and the Spitfire for Israel has come back for Golden Eagles, and it is here to stay. It's going to be 4,880 GE, and now it kind of makes sense that they removed it, because they were just going to bring it back as a G vehicle. I thought maybe they were going to restructure the Israeli tree, maybe add in rank 1, 2, and 3, but no. They were just removing it from sale to try and get people to buy it, and then bringing it back like they have been doing with a lot of premiums recently. If you don't know what the Empire Air Day is, Gagin left a little kind of blurb. From 1934 to 39, the UK hosted annual air shows and open days at air bases. The event was called Empire Air Day, and its intention was to show the general public the work of the Royal Air Force. The last air show in this event took place on the 20th of May 1939, where many aircraft took part, including the Supermarine Spitfire, which amazed the audience with its speed. So now we have Weizmann's back. What we'll do in this video is we'll cover the Spitfire and whether it's worth buying or not, but just remember it's here to stay, so it'll go on discount in the future, which will be nice. There's also a fair play, a changelog, and some other news, so we'll get into that as well. As always, if you enjoy the channel, make sure to subscribe and also like the video. Let's get started. So Weizmann's Spitfire LF Mark 9E is very similar to a lot of other vehicles that we have in the British tech tree and also the Israeli tech tree. Recently, they actually made a change to a bunch of the Israeli vehicles, meaning that you don't need to buy this to actually have a CAS element. So what was kind of funny was if you actually had a look at pretty much all of these vehicles here, they didn't really have any CAS support because they only had the guns, which, you know, the spanners are not too bad at ground pounding nowadays, but it meant that until 7.7, you just didn't have any CAS stuff because, you know, the Oregon is the one which has the 1,000-pounders, and then also all of these didn't really have anything apart from the B-17, but you're not going to take that into ground. So the Weizmann's was your only viable option for that, you know, with the Raket Orlakan rockets and then also the bombs. But nowadays, stuff like the Mark 9 CW, the clipped wing one, actually has a similar loadout, if not just the same loadout as it. So you don't need to actually buy Weizmann's to get a actual, you know, CAS aircraft. You still have the same issue with having to up-tier it with lineups, but that's okay, you know, it could be worse. So the LF Mark 9, it's a Merlin Spitfire, which means that it doesn't have as much power in the engine as a Griffon Spitfire, but it does have very good rates of climb and is also incredibly maneuverable. The only thing that will outmaneuver you is certain zeros that you'll face, but everything else you'll be able to run circles around. This is what makes this type of vehicle incredibly fun to play, because you can have control of the situation pretty much all the time when you're flying it. It also has 220s and also 250 cals, which is enough to be able to deal with pretty much anything. The Hispanos nowadays are in a lot better state compared to what they were before, so you can just do a ton with them, which is nice. And having the 50 cals instead of the 7.7s means that you have a good secondary punch on top of it. The vehicle is really fun to fly, and one of the problems with the Israeli tech tree is the start of it isn't exactly great. The first vehicle you get is the Sakin, and the Sakin is not good. It's really rough to play, and then you unlock the Spitfires, and it's generally okay. Also, this vehicle also has 1,000-pounders now, so you can kind of use those in lower tier stuff too. But if you're running like 6.7, or if you're running something like that, like if you're running the Zaklam Tiger or the Rochev or anything in that area, you do want to run Weizmann's or a similar Spitfire just because of the maneuverability and also the general kind of CAS elements it has. So if you want to kind of skip, I suppose, the propeller aircraft in the tree, you can get Weizmann's. I don't think it's the best pickup, just because of the fact that you're going to still kind of struggle to get through this area, and it's better just to not waste money on something like that and wait until there's a sale and one of these are on offer, or even there. Not the F-84, but the A4 or the Nets are much better pickups than Weizmann's right now, just because you get much better bonuses with it, and also the much higher ranks, so you can research more of the tech tree. instead of just being stuck only researching rank 4 and 5. Maybe if they added a rank 1, 2, and 3 for Israel, maybe then Weizmann's would be a bit more viable, but until then, it's not really worth it. The next part is there was a changelog that came out yesterday, update 2.45.1.96, and this was just like a few little bug fixes here and there. There wasn't really a ton to it. Basically, in the aircraft section, you have the Tu-14T. There's a bug that caused the gear to not be fully deployed in the hangar. That's been fixed, so I'm guessing it was floating. Always nice to see that. Maybe it would just crash into the ground every time that you looked at it in the hangar. For naval vessels, there was a bug that caused the range to be adjusted and not measured when restarting the test sail and selecting the same target that was selected before the restart. That's been fixed. Once again, really not a huge bug, but at least it's there. There was also an interface change. The values of the stat cards and X-ray premium vehicles that have not yet been purchased and are displayed as a vehicle with all modifications, which is amazing. It hasn't been like that previously because obviously you don't get a premium vehicle without its modifications. Whenever you buy a premium vehicle, it becomes fully modified, so it would make sense to sell them or at least show them as what they're going to be when sold. So it's always bugged me that that's the case, but luckily they've fixed that. In the graphics section, there was a bug that caused the camera and the vehicle to not be in their expected positions when returning from some events back to the hangar. That's been fixed too. Looks like the hangar is getting a lot of work in this one. There was also a bug that caused high-resolution contact shadows to render in at lower distances on some locations, and that has also been fixed. And a bug that caused the afterburner effect to be misaligned with the engine nozzle and change its position with head movements in VR mode. That has been fixed as well, which is great. I feel like when it comes to VR, whenever we talked about Aces of Thunder, and, you know, I thought about, well, why not just kind of play VR in War Thunder, there's a lot of people who talk about how it's actually not as good as it, could be because there's a lot of bugs with it and stuff like that. Aces of Thunder still doesn't actually have a release date, by the way. They're still trying to work out what to do with it. I feel like they've shipped a bunch of copies off to creators, though, and seems like those creators seem pretty happy with it, so I wonder what the holdup is. We'll find out, I'm sure, in the future. The last piece of news is Fair Play of May 2025. Just after the T3485 event, it seems like a bunch more accounts have been banned. 4,781, so another basically 5,000 have been violating the rules when it comes to automation of gameplay and cheat software. So yeah, there's also 557 accounts which have been banned for a week or more for intentional team kills, which is the other part of it. If you ever want to see some funny things, the best area to kind of go to is community kind of technical support after these bans come through, because there's sometimes some really funny posts from people who are just like, what are we going to do? Like, what? Why am I banned? Why can't I get back into my game? And I don't know, it's always funny seeing those. The other thing to also remember, please protect your accounts. When it comes to War Thunder, a lot of people get their accounts nicked because they don't fully protect them. You can use the Gaijin Pass, you can use Google Authenticator, you can use many different things to protect your War Thunder accounts nowadays. And it's always sad every time these ban waves come across. I always hear at least one or two people who have got their accounts nicked. They didn't really worry about it because the person was kind of like grinding for them, or they noticed it, and yeah, or maybe they've been away for a few months and they didn't notice it, and then they come back and their account's banned. And it just sucks because that means that they lost all their progress, and it also means that, well, they've lost their account without their knowledge. So please make sure to protect your stuff. It's always the best thing to do in terms of this. Another piece of news is obviously the event is starting pretty soon for the HF24. If there's any content around it that you want me to make, such as what do I think it'll be worth, and also all of this stuff, we can do that. The event is going to be on the 22nd of May to the 5th of June, so it will be starting in the next few days. On top of this, of course, you have some Battle Pass stuff which is turning up, and this week, at least when it comes to the streams, we'll be playing a lot of War Thunder, because I've actually been really enjoying it recently. It's been really nice to spade a bunch of stuff and just kind of get into the groove again with War Thunder. We had a bit of a miasma area where I was just kind of doing dailies and then playing some other things, but now it's 100% bang, bang, bang. We're also going to be playing some Timberborn, we're going to be playing some SnowRunner, and also we're going to be playing some other stuff too, in terms of Cubic Odyssey, which is a new game that has just come out from Gaijin. It's basically No Man's Sky, but mixed with Minecraft. It does have this huge kind of story going on, and it feels like a very deep game with a lot of hours in it, so we're going to have to see how it goes. So yeah, check out the streams on YouTube and Twitch, and if you have anything that you want me to cover, any questions, queries, or thoughts, the comments section or just the streams is always the best place to reach me. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.